I don't know. I was watching the Tonight Show the other morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is 11 o'clock. It's time for Drive Time Radio with New York Vinnie, and we got an action-packed show for you today. I'm telling you, folks, call your neighbors, call everybody you know, and get them radio, get them to the computer. Get them over here. Click it on your phone. Do what you got to do to listen to the show. Friends know, because this morning, what's going on? It's a St. Paddy's Day week. You can see I'm wearing the green here of Highway 61. The day of the year I celebrate my half Irishness. That's right, everybody. You always know me as Italian guy, but the reality is I'm Italian and Irish. So, I always go with the Italian part because that's my father, and and that's how it always seemed to go. And I always identified with the Italian part, but in reality, I'm half Irish. I'm half. You should never say you bones, man. I want to say that, but anyway, you want to make sure, though, that you hold on to that heritage, and you find out a little bit more where your people are from. It's and don't throw away the other side of your heritage. I think it's important, and believe you me, I've done it in the past, so I know what it's about. I've kind of stuffed the Irish, but except when I was trying to date an Irish girl. But I don't know why I'm doing this morning. I feel like David Letterman. I wish I had the crash sound effect. Wait, I'm happy. It's the sun is shining, the boy typing, and life is wonderful here this morning on a St. Paddy's Day weekend. All right, we got a lot of ground to cover this morning. We're going to talk to you about auto insurance rates and a story that came out this week in the New York Times, which I think, personally for me, is really going to be huge news for all of us, especially those of you that drive newer cars that have the telematic system in them. Hang on for that. Also this month, Vinnie, we're going to take a look at what I'm driving this week. I've got some good news for Hyundai owners. If you're a Hyundai owner, and you're afraid of the Kia boy getting to your car, we got good news for you this morning. So do yourself a favor and make sure that if you know somebody who's driving a Hyundai, make sure that they're tuned in here, because we're going to want to hear this information. We're going to pay tribute to the auto industry. Going to give you 7 cars that you did not know were made in Ireland. It maybe one you knew, maybe one. For the long Irish history, I got 7 cars that have been made in Ireland, and one of them from the early '60s resides here in Seattle, or used to reside here in Seattle. I'm not sure if it still does, but it used to reside here in Seattle. So make sure that you hang on for that, because we're gonna drink a little. Don't drink. You can always drink and do the rest. Anyway, this is actually Bing cherry juice with a little lime in it. It's supposed to be good for your health, because I'm trying to get healthier. I'm doing my best around for a long time. All right, let's start out with the New York Times that is rocking automotive world. This appeared on March 11, 2024, with an update on March 13th, Mr. Mary Ann's birthday. Happy birthday, Mary. By Kashmir Hill. Great article, great piece of investigative work. So you all know, I'm pretty sure that anybody that's a modern car, a newer car these days, You go to the dealer, you buy the car. All of these cars now have some kind of in-car communication system. In General Motors and other vehicles, it's OnStar. Hyundai has one. Kia has one. Ford has, I think, Ford Blue, something like that, or maybe it's Hyundai Blue. I think, but there's, the little button there. You push it, you can ask it directions. It can tell if you have accident or are stuck in the road. It can even open up your car if you lock yourself out. It can even in some cases disable a car if the car is being chased by the cops. So it's a valuable tool and a new piece of our modern technology. Okay, so when you get, usually you have a subscription fee for these, for this. You pay out, I think OnStar's $9.95 or something like that, but you get all of that peace of mind of being able to know that if somebody steals your car, maybe they can track it down. If if you get into an accident at night, if your wife or your daughter or your son driving in the car, and you go off the side of the road, it's going to flip around. It's just going to go up to the satellite and tell them where you are and send the police. It senses that. These are all great and wonderful things. And also, you push a button or you say, hey, BW, and tell me how to get to Grandma's house in 2 seconds. Okay, Grandma's house, 227, 197th Street Southwest. You go up Aurora Avenue, blah, 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 the whole thing. So, very convenient. Almost as convenient as a phone. Almost. So, you say to yourself, well, what are our companies getting out of this? Well, surprise, said Goma Pyle. They're getting your information. All of your information. Where you go, fast you go, whether you brake, whether you accelerate hard, whether you go over the speed limit. You don't think when you drive that car, like I'm driving this Lexus, that little there says, speed limit on the dashboard. You don't think you're going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit? That somewhere, somehow, that information is being stored now? It is. Now, that in itself, not a big problem. People are kind of okay these days, I guess. I don't particularly like it, but people are okay with the idea that you're being spied on. There's cameras everywhere. Being spied on is no longer a thing. You just take it for granted in public that somebody's got somewhere there's a camera that's looking at you. Some people like it because they think it deters crime. Some people don't like it because they think it takes away our personal freedoms. Wherever you're on the map of that thing, I'm good with. I don't particularly like it, but I also understand that it's a valuable tool. So that in itself problem, but what General Motors has done, and this in this article, as a matter of fact, the guy in the article, Ken Dahl, is from here in Seattle somewhere, and Ken Dahl buys a Chevrolet, releases a Chevrolet Bolt. He's never had an accident. He's been at fault. I guess he leases the Chevrolet Bolt, which is the electric Chevrolet, little Chevrolet. I bought one from my friend. I helped him buy one. A good friend of mine. He loves the car. So 2022 comes along. I guess this is 2021 Bolt. Mr. Dahl, a safe driver. 2022 comes along. The cost of his car jumps by 21%. Goes to us companies to shop around, and he gets all these high quotes, and he can't figure it out. So I guess one of the agents, what's going on? Well, it turns that the information, this is allegedly, the information that is being culled by generals from your OnStar is being recorded and saved. And now General Motors, because they're always looking for new ways to make a few bucks, are selling that information to an organization called LexisNexis, which is an organization that basically advises corporations on risk. When you go to buy insurance, they assess your risk, your driving record, your credit score, all of that stuff. Although I don't think in Washington, if I remember right, they can't use your credit in Washington, but it varies the state. So anyway, it was 130 pages of any time this guy and his wife had driven the Chevy over the previous. It included the dates of 140 trips, their stint times, the distance driven, and accounting of any speeding, hard braking, or sharp accelerations. The only information it contained was where they drove, the location. To give an example, on a Thursday morning in June, the car had been driven 733 miles in 18 minutes. There had been 2 rapid accelerations and incidents of hard brakings on this report. The trip details had been provided by General Motors, the manufacturer of the Bolt, and LexisNexis. They sell them the information. LexisNexis analyzed that a driving that the way this guy drove up, or these people drove the car, drove up the risk score. And it was used for insurers to use as one more factor of many to get more personalized insurance coverage. means they figure out a way to get more money out of you because of all of this insurance, all of this information. So, when everything is going skyrocketing, costs are skyrocketing, everything costs money. Now they're nailing you in the shorts for your auto insurance, and it's not what you particularly have. They do now as somebody who's on the gas a little too heavy. Now there are some insurance companies that offer a little thing you can plug into your dashboard that will let you send the information to the insurance company. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that. If you volunteer to send that information, if you think it's going to knock down your insurance, hey, fine. But it seems that nowhere along the line does General Motors tell you that they are going to sell your information. Car companies established relationships with the companies, and some insurance companies have the ability to sign up, and you can get your insurance rated on the way you drive. That's the problem here. If that's what you want to do and benefits you, God bless you. Knock yourself out, half over for Progressive, stick one of those things in your car, and live happily ever after. Maybe your rates will go down, but you better be driving with an egg between your foot and the accelerator, because they are looking at those your trips. They're going to rate them. They aren't. A computer is going to rate it. Artificial intelligence is going to rate it. So far, GM, Honda, Kia, and Hyundai started offering optional features in their connected car apps that rate people's driving. Some apps you can put on your phone, but then again, they give that information about how they drive to data brokers. And those data brokers sell that information to insurance companies. The insurance companies look at that They can't, especially in a state like Washington, again, where they can't use your credit report. There's some way they got to figure out besides tickets how you drive. So if you're one of these people that are always hitting the gas and braking hard and hitting the gas and braking hard, your insurance is going to go up. And I fundamentally don't have a problem with that. I would have when I was younger, but now and I drive a lot more responsible than I used to. Tool around here in Edmonds, and I don't know that I ever go over the speed limit anymore. You know, where I used to drive 10 miles over the speed limit. The only other place that I go probably over the speed limit is on I-5 or I-90. But other than that, what are we doing? But, you know, you stay within speed limit. Anyway, so many people are saying the GM OnStar Smart Driver tracked them and their insurance rates went up. Now, the GM OnStar Smart Driver service is optional to customers. So says the GM spokeswoman. But according to a lawsuit that was filed, you knew somebody was going to sue over this, didn't you? You knew it. According to this lawsuit that was filed by a guy who bought a Cadillac a couple of years ago, and when he went to insure it again for a year after he bought it, nobody would. His rates went up like phenomenal, like 100%. What's going on? Well, GM information. LexisNexis sent it to the insurance companies, and every time this guy applied for insurance, they pulled up his LexisNexis, and they could see that he had hard acceleration, hard braking, rapid acceleration, hard braking on city. I guess. See, part of the problem is they don't tell you where. It's really interesting. In the case of Corvette owners, people that buy newer Corvettes, there was one guy whose insurance rates went up phenomenally because LexisNexis tracked him, and this is according to the New York Times. LexisNexis tracked him with hard acceleration, rapid acceleration, and hard braking events. Where was the guy? He was on a track with his car. It wasn't on his, but because it doesn't the system doesn't discern where you are, it can't tell what you're doing. Out on a track with your car, and you have this information hooked up in your car. Your insurance company is going to know, especially if you're driving a Corvette. And I'm going to tell you something right now. You know this. I know this. We all know this. That nobody buys a Corvette and never gives it rapid acceleration or gives it hard braking. It's all the time. It's what you buy the car for. You buy the car for the feeling of the acceleration that puts your ass back into the seat. So part of the problem here is that many people feel that they were never told. They were never told that listen, we all do it. We want to get checked the box. I agree to the terms. And according to several lawyers who are articles in the New York Times, you can go to the New York and read them under technology. Automakers sharing consumer driving behavior with companies. Just Google it on the New York Times, and you'll see it. You have now a decision where people want connected services because the factor. Like many people, a great thing is, but they don't want to They feel like they haven't been told the whole story. And according to the articles, if you go and look at everything, you haven't been told the whole story on these things. You haven't been told that General Motors is going to sell your information to the insurance companies, to LexisNexis to sell to the insurance companies. Remember, I don't know, was it a year or two ago? General Motors wanted to do subscription services for things in your car. In other words, if you wanted to have heated seats, you'd have to pay $2 a month. To have a better system that got nav system, you paid for. If you wanted to have this option, that option, more horsepower, this, that, the other thing, they were going to charge for it. And then the outcry was such that people, General Motors does not do that, but they had to make that money up. So, they're looking to make as much money as they can. That's just what a corporation is. And it's a sign of the times. Get in pockets of people as deep as you can. Get all the money you can out of them, so that your shareholders get richer. You squeeze the guy. The guy who went and bought a pickup truck and signed that thing because his daughter drives it over to Pullman to go to school, and he's afraid that going out Route 26 there, that she may have an accident, is the phone for miles, or somebody else who may be four-wheeling or sat and takes his GMC up to the top of one of the fire roads there and miscalculates and falls off. God forbid, and calls help, so that he's lying in a ditch somewhere. Or the woman who drives at night, the nurse that works at Harborview, has to drive in from Everett, and she's afraid at 2:00 in the morning or 1:00 in the morning, right, to drive through Seattle. So at least she has the confidence of having this telematic system, this telemetric system that can alert the police if something goes wrong. There's a wonderful invention, but you knew that with every wonderful invention, somebody would come along to figure out how to use it to get into your pockets. So it's going to be interesting to watch this. It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on this, and I will keep you updated on it and see where it goes. As I said, there's one lawsuit already in Florida. There are many more that are come. But when you go to a car dealer, buy a new car, before you check that box, you got to make sure that they sell your information, or that you're comfortable with them selling your information. I mean, into I mean, again, I understand it. I think there is some value to it, but you got to let people know. You got to tell people, be honest with people. You got to be upfront with people. It's enough of a harrowing experience. Go buy a car, and you feel like everything is dishonest. You feel like that there's hidden fees, and there's hidden this, and there's hidden that, and it's just one more thing that either they didn't tell you about, or that they decided that you shouldn't know. And I think it's a shame. You want to buy a car. Here's a guy, I don't know or anything, but he do the right thing. He buys an electric car, or leases an electric car, and now his insurance rates are, skyrocketing. And for reason, He had an overly aggressive driver. He didn't have a bunch of speeding tickets. Putting up cameras all over the place to catch people at a speed and red lights and so on and so forth. And I don't disagree with that. Honest with you. If you want to drive like an go out on out there, or go up to some country road where nobody lives and drive like an animal. Where if you screw up and you hit, it's on you. You're the one that goes through the windshield, not 6 people that are standing on the sidewalk waiting for a light. That's crazy. But beware of that and let your neighbors know. And keep an eye on this, because Big Brother has been watching you for a long time. And it appears that Big Brother's name this week is General Motors. And I'm disappointed in the fact that they just won't front with you about it. Again, don't mind if people sell the information. That doesn't, I mean, it happens on credit card company information. Everybody sells the information. If you're on Facebook, if you're on phone, if you have, that's the price you pay for the convenience you get. But I'm pretty sure that most people, it's not a hidden fact that data is going to be culled. In this case, you got to be upfront with people. You have to tell them what's going on. And if you don't, you should be made to pay. If the insurance company raise your rates like that, they should rate on the merit of your driving. Now, people will say, well, this tells them the merit of your driving. But that's not the only factor. You don't know. Again, it's incomplete information. And you have to have something more essential than that, I think. So we'll keep you posted on this and let you know what's going on. I think it's a very important case. Very important thing for all of us to pay attention to, because we're all going, even though we might not have it now, we're all going to eventually be subject to these telematics, and we're going to eventually, because life goes on, all cars are going to have this, and the further we go, the more sophisticated these systems get. So pay attention. Pay attention to these things. And talk your article. Go, because it's worth it. If you drive out with a telematics system, it's worth it to read these articles. You may want to opt out of OnStar. You may want to use something else, your cell phone or whatever else. So it doesn't sell the information to LexisNexis. All right. Let's hit. Okay. Let's do. If you are a Hyundai owner. Oh, if you're a Hyundai owner, you probably got a headache. You know that. Hyundai owner. You have the Kia BOYZ trying to get after time, right? Trying to steal your car. There are certain Hyundais and Kia that are vulnerable to being stolen because they don't have correct anti-theft equipment in them. They don't the thing in the car that stops somebody from being able to start it. So they're very, very easy to start. Not all of them, but especially if you have a lower end one, a lower level one, you probably could have a problem. And it's all over. Go on YouTube. I mean, you got all of these people that steal these cars and do these, show, what do they call them? Where people go in the middle of the intersection, spin around. roundups, whatever they are. Anyway, Hyundai is trying to help out, is trying to do something about this. So this weekend, and let me pull up the times in the events. Taking it upon them, have you come to a few locations: the Tacoma Dome, Factoria Mall, Doug's Hyundai right here in Edmonds, and Robert Larson Hyundai, Tacoma, and have either an aft installed in your car, a soft grade, or according to Cairo 7, are giving other people a candy upgrade, a lock, crook lock, one of those steering wheel locks. So at least you can lock the car and make it less appealing for a thief to take it. And I mean, they are stealing. It's a thing. See if I can find out the times of this. Nearly 4 million Hyundai vehicles are vulnerable. So if you're driving a Hyundai, these 4 locations, you got the Tacoma Dome, 8 to 6 today, 8 to 2 tomorrow. Factoria Mall, 8 to 6 today, 8 to 2 tomorrow. Doug's Hyundai, 9 to 3 today only, right on Highway 99 and 220th Street. Right in the middle of the block. Can't miss them. Got a big brand new building. And I about 2 hours, and there were people lined up to get their software upgraded. So it's going to be, this is a thing. Buy a car, you don't want it to get stolen. And Hyundai has a vulnerability here. Also, if you're in Tacoma, 8 to 5 today only at Robert Larson Hyundai, 601 South Tacoma Way in Tacoma, the city of Destiny. So if you have a Hyundai, check out these things. The mobile clinic is intended to help Hyundai stop these thefts. Provide further installations of Hyundai's free anti-theft software upgrade for customers who are affected by these thefts. Specially trained mobile service technicians will be on site to install and complete the software upgrade, which should take less than 30. Or if they can't up software, they're going to give you one of those steering wheel locks, big yellow ones, so you can see it from outside the car. And maybe when the Kia boys come to steal your car, they'll keep. Haven't heard anything about this yet, which is a sister company, the Hyundai. But if you want more information on this, you can go to Hyundai Anti-Theft.com. That's Hyundai Anti-Theft.com. There's a whole website that deals with this situation. And it's worth looking at if you drive one of those cars. All right. It is our St. Paddy edition of Drive Time Radio. I'm New York Vinnie. Vinnie, thank you so much for being with us and hanging out with us on this Saturday. Get a chance now to do one of the things that I really love to do. I love to show you and answer the question that is on so many minds all the time. And that message is, yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this? And I am driving, look at this beautiful car. Is this a piece of art or what? This is the Lexus 450 RX 450H. It's a hybrid. It has about 15 miles to 20 miles of electric range. Then it switches over to, and look at the beauty of. Well, look at the beauty of Cascadia Art Museum too, where I filmed. But just look at the lines on this car. I haven't gotten into a lot of the technical stuff when I do the radio road test with it. But it's just a beautiful car. The sun, the way it's the color, it's amazing. It has all of the things that, of course, from the outside make it look spanking. I mean, you're feeling good, but the luxury in this car is inside as well. All the things that you would expect in a car like this. Mark Levinson stereo system. You have the EV, and then of course the gas engine. You have plenty of room in the back, and even check out this fancy back seat that if you have two people, you put down the middle, hit the button, and you got your cup holders right there. A little glove box for you to stick your necessities, your phone or whatever, because you shouldn't really talk on the phone when you're driving in the car. But a beautiful leather, and beautiful spacious rear where you have power buttons that let the seat go down. If you have to put something on, put that back seat down. Spacious in the back so that you can fit a lot of luggage or a lot of in there. It's all there for you. It's the Lexus RX 450h. This particular one, and this is a new for 24 model. They said 35 miles of electric only driving. It's only offered in a loaded luxury trim, so you're not going to buy this thing and it's going to be cheap inside. This is going to be something that's going to it's gonna it brings a sense of class, a sense of beauty, and a sense of also being able to do something for the environment in having so many miles. That trip down to the store now doesn't use gasoline. It's completely on electric at 35 miles. That trip down to the farmer's market, that trip to work and back, that's 9 miles, 10 miles, 11, 12. That's now not using gasoline. And again, when you get this car, you just get all of that Lexus quality. There's just the quality that you get with Lexus that people that own them love them. So I'm loving this. I'm enamored of the lines of this car, just the artistic beauty of how this car is put together. I know a lot of people like the big grill and the scoops in the front. I love it. I love aggressive styling on car, and I think it's a solid car. Again, money wise, this one, I think I'll give you the sticker price here if I find it real quickly. This one is going to cost you. This particular one's going to cost you $76,105 to take this thing off the dealer's lot, plus tax and license and all that stuff. But Maron, what a car! I mean, really, just has. I mean, from the color to the interior, the white interior. Again, Lexus a little crazy for giving me a car with a white interior, but and I haven't had a chance to road test. I haven't been up to the Joe to give it the the course. We'll do that this weekend. But driving around the city and in just normal driving feels great. Again, people that buy this type of car, they're not for a racing car. If you're looking for a car that's going to give you that driving feel, maybe to go and you're going to buy a Porsche, or you buy maybe something that they put a little more uncomfortability into. This car is comfortable. This car is sharp, and it's a car that so far in a couple of days that I've driven it around, I've really enjoyed it. So that's this week's Yo Vinnie. What are you driving this week? And of course, you can go to our Facebook page, our YouTube, our social media, and find more information about these cars. We put them up during the week. Sometimes I put up things that I find in the car that I really enjoy. If something's different, we have a whole of cool things in cars that we that we put up there so you can check them out. But that is, of course, our Yo Vinnie, what are you this week segment. Okay, we continue on Drive Time Radio. I want to try. I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. But we used to be able to do a thing called Cartoon of the Week. We haven't done it since the first of the year because the technology has changed in delivering the show. But because it's St. Paddy's Day, I wanted to try this. So do me a favor. If you are watching this and you can't hear it, please let me know in the comments. And by the way, we say good morning to our friends in Pittsburgh who are listening, especially my friend Danny Brown, who's got his crossfire out with town. Evidently, it's a beautiful Pittsburgh. Well, it is when Russell Wilson takes the field for the Steelers. That's a whole nother thing. But have fun out there, Danny. Don't get into trouble in your car. So I'm going to, because it is St. Paddy's Day, and you tell me if it's working or not. Just if it's working, please somebody type into the comments real quickly. I'll be able to see him, and maybe this will work out just fine. I am hoping that it does, because I like doing this kind of stuff. We're going to try to share the screen right now. Give you a cartoon. This is Saturday morning's cartoon, the Irish jaunting car. So let's see how this goes.
The city is me Irish jaunting car. And if you want to hire me, step into Mickey Mars. Ask for Larry Doolin and his Irish jaunting cars. When Queen Victoria came to Ireland, her health to revive, she asked the Lord Lieutenant to take her out to ride. She replied unto his greatness before they travelled far, a delightful was the jogging of the Irish jaunting car. And if you want to hire me, step into Mickey Mars and ask for Larry Doolin and his Irish jaunting cars.
Tired out by drunken men, teetotallers, and my friends. But a carman has so much to do, his duty never ends. Night and day, both wet and dry, I travel near and far. And at night I count the earnings of my Irish jaunting car.
If you want to hire me, step into Mickey Mars. Ask for Larry Doolin and his Irish jaunting cars. Say the Russian bear is tough, and I believe it's true. Though we beat them at the Alma and Balaclava too. But if our Connaught Rangers would bring home the Russian Tsar, I would drive them off the blazes in the Irish jaunting car. But if you want to hire me, step into Mickey Mars and ask for Larry Doolin and his Irish jaunting cars. Some say all wars are over, and I hope to God they are. For you know full well they never were good for a jaunting car. But peace and plenty may they reign here both near and far, and we'll drive to feast and festivals in an Irish jaunting car. Then if you want to hire me, step into Mickey Mars and ask for Larry Doolan and his Irish jaunting cars.
They say they are in want of men, the French and English too. It's all about their commerce now, and they don't know what to do. But if they come to Ireland, our jolly sons to mar, I'll drive them to the devil in the Irish jaunting car.
If you want to hire me, step into Mickey Mars and ask for Larry Doolan and his Irish jaunting cars. If you want to hire me, step into Mickey Mars and ask for Larry Doolan and his Irish jaunting cars.
Makes you want to pick up a Guinness and a Bushmills. All right, stop now. Yeah, I mean, it really does. What a great song! I don't know. I just have the feeling listening to that song, and I hope you could hear it. I don't know. I'll know, after we do the show. I'll go back and listen. I hope you could hear it. Nobody sent anything in the comments. You're out there listening, so I'm I'm thinking to myself that you heard it. I hope you did. That's our Saturday morning cartoon, because cars and music go together so well, don't they? So these days it's cars and podcasts too. But anyway, all right. So in celebration of St. Paddy's Day, I have cars that were made in Ireland, that were manufactured in. It's a great article that I found a few years ago from a man called The Shop. People know that the DeLorean, the ill-fated DeLorean, but yet one of the most popular cars, excuse me, was in an assembly plant near Belfast, where more than 8,500 DeLorean DM12 stainless steel-bodied sports cars were produced. As a matter of fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they are reviving the DeLorean with electric motors. So you'll be able to buy an electric DeLorean. I don't know how far the project is gone or anything like that, but you should be able to, at some point, buy a DeLorean. Another car that was built in Ireland was the Aylesbury. They unveiled their first car at the 1997 Dublin Motor Show. It was produced at the Edinburgh Works in County. I think that's how you say it. The sedans were powered by a 8 to 10 horsepower 2-cylinder engine and boasted a chassis made primarily from Irish harvest. They built a total of 9. The Tom Soda Company of Wexford produced the C. Costin, a car designed to compete with the Lotus. They were built between 1987. DMC built 7s of the car. Had a 1.6 liter Ford engine. They went out of business. Danny Panaz has built the Panaz Roadster based on those cars. In 1957, Northern Ireland Crossley Car Company, claimed to be the longest established race car builder. Motorcycle champion John Crossley built four-wheel racers that won titles in Europe and the U.S. in Formula Ford and Formula 2. By the 1970s, they built more than 100 Formula Fords. My Irish friends in Jackson Heights are getting this, because this is, I think this is fun. From 49 to 57, Davey Woods and motorcycle racer Artie co-designed, developed the Daub Sticks in Belfast. They had a coupe body designed by Billy Leach, who used to work at Belfast Tool and Gauge. It's powered by an air-cooled overhead cam, 1.4 liter, 1.6 horsepower, six engine. To put it into production, the only Bob 6 in existence is on display in Ulster, Ireland. The Silverine was built in 1907 in Ireland, and too costly for production. It was elegant and luxurious, but just too costly to make. The piece de resistance of the Irish auto industry appears to be this little lady. You are looking at the Shamrock. In 1957, James Conway, an American, and William Curtis, an American, launched Shamrock Motors in Tralee, Kerry. They had the Curtis car. It looked like a little mini T-Bird. Spike Riondo, who was a Canadian race car driver, was hired to design the car, which was like a Ford Thunderbird, that they nicknamed Irish T-Bird. It had 1.5 liter, 53 horse Boston A55 engine. It had a removable hop. There are 7 of them still existing that were originally built in 1960. They just didn't have the money to keep going. To build this, the idea was that there were so many Irish immigrants in the United States, much like the Italians. I mean, the Italians in the 50s and 60s all bought Fiats. Not all of them, I mean, but a lot of them bought Fiats. Fiats became a very popular brand in the United States because the Italians that came over knew them and they bought them. So, they figured, Curtis and his pals figured that, probably do the same thing with the with a car from Ireland. So they put in the money and they built this car, the Shamrock. Hopefully, they would appeal to the Irish people graded over here and the families of Irish people who wanted a car that allied with Ireland. They probably weren't going to drive a British car, but they would drive an Irish car. And so this was born. Fiberglass body. It was for the stand. Not a car. It didn't. First of all, the Austin engine that they had in it was extremely underpowered. It was it really did not it just fast. You get a car like this, you expect to get in it, and it's going to be fast. The fiberglass body, although very stylish for the day. I mean, you have the fins back there and everything. Just didn't it didn't catch the whims. I mean, the Italian Fiats were designed by Pininfarina, and they had these beautiful lines. I mean, this thing looked like a knockoff. It looked like a kiddie car. And one of the other killers car is when Spike Riondo was designing her. He forgot, if you look at the back wheels, he forgot to leave enough space. If you got a flat tire, to take the rear wheel off. So you literally had to jack it up by its bumper, rear axle down, and take the tire off. So you had a mess here. Yeah, I mean, if you got a flat back, you were screwed. So the Shamrock, as I said, I think 7 of them still exist today. I think were built. One of them was for a long time here in Seattle, and I've been trying to track it down, and have not been able to. But if anybody knows anybody out there who has this Shamrock, please let me know. I have this strange fascination with of next same day doing my show from the car, bringing it to like Shoreline Cars and Coffee, pulling up in this thing, and or at least with the owner and me, and we go with it. It's one of those fabled cars, those orphan cars, those cars that exist no longer, but yet through the period of automotive history have commercial interest, and the Shamrock fits into that nation of a car that garners. It is by far coolest car, and I'll tell you what, I think this car is cooler than the DeLorean. My opinion, but I think it's cooler. It just I could see my Irish mother bring this car to the AP on Northern Boulevard to pick up her groceries, or to the Wallbounds, or the food fair, or to any one of those places. I could see my mom driving pulling up to school in this car and saying, "Son, get in the car." She didn't have a brogue, but I was giving her one for St. Paddy's Day. So that is the Shamrock, my friends. Somewhere in Seattle there is one. We gotta get a hold of Lance. Lance is gonna know where this car is. Lance Lambert is gonna know where this car is. He knows where every car of interest is in the entire Seattle. We'll have to get in touch with him. It just reminded me of something on a sad note, that tomorrow if you're a car buff, you would probably jump car and head out to Triple X, right? Full Sunday. You do Triple X out in Issaquah, pull in, look at a bunch of the other cars that are there, see a whole bunch of people in big root beer floats, and walking around. You try to make sure that nobody spilled it from your car. And sadly, the Triple X closed over the winter. Now, I don't know if anybody's bought it, reopened it, or anything like that. I have to investigate that, but I just thought about this. But I hope that somebody who had a lot of money decided that they would buy it and keep it alive. It's a great great place to talk to people who are interested in cars. Spend a Sunday afternoon. You take the family out. You feed them on them hamburgers that they have there, or the great grilled cheese with ham, and look at all the failure that was in there. Yeah, I truly hope they save that place. I truly do. It's an honest to goodness place. There are several cars and coffees around Seattle. My favorite, Shoreline Cars and Coffee, which goes from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock on Saturday morning over on just off of Aurora on 175th at the Town Market there. You can always go down there. Matter of fact, next weekend we're going to try to buy from there. It's if the weather permits. This would have been a beautiful morning to do it, but it's St. Paddy's Day. We'll do all this other stuff. So, again, it's a sad day. I wonder when King Charlie's opens. King Charlie's up on Route 9 in Snohomish. That was the place when I had my El Camino. We did an El Camino show up, and I found my beautiful orange crush, my orange El Camino that I wish I would have never sold. It never bothered me to sell my Corvette. I bought it. I had it for years. I loved it. But when it was time to go, and I sold it and I put it on the truck and I didn't shed a tear. But boy, oh boy, I'm still pissed off about selling my Elko. Selling it for a joke of money. It was just, I loved this car. I absolutely loved this car. I hate to admit this, but I think I loved it more than my Corvette. Maybe someday I'll find another one. I don't know. Maybe my classic car days are over, or at least owning them. But it was such a joy and such a cool car. I used to love. Sometimes I tell the car story. I used to love the thing I used to love when I lived in West Seattle. My wife and I would go shopping every year, Christmas tree shopping, at the Holy Rose Church at their Christmas. And I used to love it. It was like just this beautiful, beautiful thing of pulling up at the Holy Rosary lot with that car. And I would see the eyes of the face fathers who were there at the Christmas tree, goo-goo-eyeing the car and loving the car. And they would always talk to me about the car, tell me about the car, how much they loved it. And I had one. It was great. It was a real. It was just a beautiful car. One car that I have wonderful cars, unbelievably wonderful cars all my life. My driving life. I've had Z28 Camaro convertibles, and I've just had a little bit of everything. 60 Roadrunner. I mean, I've just owned a ton of beautiful cars and driven a ton of beautiful cars. But nothing sticks in my heart like this El Camino. I loved this car. As much as somebody can love a car, I love this car. This car was my heart and soul, man. It was me. Orange and black, man. I remember I took it down to the body shop right off of Seattle Center there, the name of it now. And they put the SF on the hood for me. And I had a cowl induction hood that I bought down in the Chevy part that used to be. I don't know if he's still there. By Centralia. There's a whole NOS little stock guy down there, and he put in special for me, and I took it and we painted it. And oh man, I put a new tonneau cover by the guy out in Ballard that does the tonneau covers, the boat covers. And I mean, this car was all Seattle, man. I bought a guy who wanted to put appliance up on Aurora. Gave me a great deal on the car, and I mentally kick my ass every time I think about that I sold this car. The one beautiful thing that I got to do with this car, and I have a picture of somewhere. The one beautiful thing I got to do with this car is I got to take it back to where I started, to Jackson Heights. And I got to park it on 82nd Street and 37th Avenue, where for so much when I was a kid, and I had my first car, I had my, a succession of cars. We hung out on that corner, 82nd or 83rd. I would pull by the bus stop there or pull in a spot. We'd sit there and hang out when I first got my car. We'd pull in. The cops knew us. They left us alone. Except the first day I got my driver's license. The meathead gave me a ticket. Big cops that used to have the beat 82nd. That's a story for another time. But it was just this wonderful feeling of here I am. I'm, at the time, what was I, 50, however many years ago it was. And here I am standing on the corner in this beautiful car that I loved so much. I took that car back to New York. My mom passed away many years ago. And actually brought back her big, what do you call that thing, hutch that I still have that I'm going to, yeah, like many other things in my life, I'm going to sand, renew someday and give it to I don't know if it's going to work out like that, but anyway, all right, enough of missing here on Drive Time. Time now for the Drivetime Radio Road Test. And boy, we got a good one this week as we get ready to close out our show. This 2024 Honda Passport Trail, and we talked about it last week on Yo. I love this car. I absolutely just I think that if you are a family looking for a car to give you excitement that will take you, it's a balance. Everything on this car is perfectly balanced, I think. The driving characteristics, the looks, the way it handles, the way it feels inside, it's all a matter of balance with the Passport TrailSport. Why is it balanced? Because it gives you the ability to have an incredible car that you can use every day to do all the things to do. The midsize SUV class, it gives you so much room inside. I love the tall SUVs. While I like the Lexus that we wore, there's something about the tall A that gives you space and gives you an ability to sit up, to not feel crushed down, and to feel like you have a lot of area to put stuff, and for people to feel comfortable. And you can add cargo area back there, a ton from a Costco run there. The interior in the Honda is reworked for 2024. They changed the console around a little bit, put USB ports in the back so that the people in the back can plug in and charge. So the rough and ready that's in this thing. It's a comfortable car to drive. And absolutely, you get in this car and it is just comfortable to drive. Big screen in the middle. As I said, console's been redesigned. You got the push button transmission there, and it really is a spectacular riding car as well. And there are the Rat and the Saint who ride along with me everywhere I go. Nice in the console. People to be able to, read the cup and look at the room in the back. Plenty of leg room back there. You got the cup holders in the side door panel, nicely designed with the orange stitching. And the rear, the seats, back seats are comfortable as well as are the front seats, adjustable. They move forward, they move, and you can get them exactly how you want them. Place the stuff was in there, another port pocket down in the bottom there to keep stuff. There's a lot of crannies in this thing, and the sunshade. So when you have the kid in the back, and boop 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 boop, he doesn't get doesn't get sunburned in the back of the car. You can protect them from the world in a Honda. He can feel cut. This is what I really like in this car, though. All these cars these days have e-brakes. This one has a real emergency. Makes you feel confident. As far as engine-wise, Honda engines, you can't beat them. 280 horsepower. It's the same engine in the older ones. 262 pound-feet of torque, and it has a 9-speed automatic transmission that moves those spectacular tires around. It's not a neck snapper, but this car is not meant to. But what this car will do is it will get you from, as I said before, it'll take you to get the kids to school. It'll take you on the business trip. It'll take you on a road trip. If you're on that road trip and you want to go up a fire road, or you're having it secluded up in the woods, and it's a little bit of, ball and stuff like that, it's not going to hop over. It's not going to be a stump hopper. You're not pulling stumps out of the ground with this thing. This is not an ATV. This is a comfortable, solid family car that for about $50,000, a little bit more than $50,000, is going to serve you with balance. It's going to give you the best of both worlds. And today's cars, that's a cool thing. I think that when you when you look at what you need in a car, you can't beat a Honda. The engines are bulletproof. The TrailSport package adds a little skid, a little bit more off-roading to the car, and it gives you the confidence to drive the car a little bit off-road and take it to a place where you might not want to take a normal station wagon cars. They built some to this car, and that for anybody who loves Honda, and believe you me, talk to Honda owners. They are the most loyal people when it comes to their cars. My Lord, amazing, amazing how loyal Honda are. They love their Hondas. They'll pay extra. They hold their value, and will take you over hill and over dale. And if you're up here in the Northwest, that's pretty much what you want, isn't it? You want something that'll take you off the road every while. All right. That is put another edition of Drive Time Radio in the books. Love to hear from you. Vinnie at drivetime-radio.com is my email address if you want to send a note. Tune in next week at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. As I said, I hope to be live at Shoreline Cars and Coffee, if that's possible, and if the weather permits. And I always appreciate getting together with you on Saturday morning, and spend time with you. This is my love. This is my moment. This and baseball and football. These are the things I love. And I get to tell you about it and talk to you about it, and spend a little time telling you some stories. Maybe the shows, any show I ever do. The hope in that show is that you something at the end of the show that you didn't at the start. Listen to the show. No, I speak with a New York accent. But no, I may not have the brightest light bulb on the block. To learn something, and that you treat each other kind and with respect. And if we all do that, then the hour and change that we spend together on Saturday mornings is well worth it. Thank you so much for listening and watching the show. Catch you next Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, if the Lord's willing and the creek don't rise. Thanks to my good friend George Jackson and George Jackson Promotions. You can find him on Facebook, who has been a friend and a sponsor of this show for a long time. George is the most incredible guy in the world. And if you're in need of advertising specialties for your business, he's well worth a look on Facebook. George Jackson Promotions. See you next Saturday morning if Dylan and the creek don't rise. Happy birthday again to my sister Mary Ann, and we will catch up with you. I always say with Michael Knight, peace, love, and Manischewitz. Happy St. Paddy's Day, everybody. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Listen.